The following episode is based on publicly available sources and is intended for educational purposes only. It includes details of violence and may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. It was a simple Craigslist ad. Free maternity clothes. Michelle Wilkins, 34 weeks pregnant, answered with hope and trust. What she walked into was not kindness, but a calculated, brutal attack. In every crime, there's the story you hear, and the truth buried beneath it. You're listening to The Case Room, where we dive deep into true crime stories from around the world, one case at a time. Episode 3, The Craigslist Deception, the attack on Michelle Wilkins. Before we open today's case, please note that this episode discusses sensitive themes, including extreme violence, assault, attempted murder, and the unlawful termination of a pregnancy. Some listeners may find this content distressing. Listener discretion is strongly advised. In March 2015, the quiet town of Longmont, Colorado, was shaken by a crime so heinous it defied comprehension. Michelle Wilkins, a 26-year-old expectant mother, responded to a Craigslist ad offering free maternity clothes. What unfolded was a calculated and brutal attack that left Michelle fighting for her life and mourning the loss of her unborn daughter, Aurora. The perpetrator, Dynel Lane, had meticulously crafted a web of lies, convincing those around her that she was pregnant. Her deception culminated in an act of violence that would leave an indelible mark on all involved. Chapter 1. Michelle Wilkins, a mother's love. Michelle Wilkins was a vibrant and compassionate woman, known for her kindness and optimism. At 26, she was preparing to welcome her first child, a daughter she planned to name Aurora. Michelle's life was filled with anticipation and joy as she prepared for motherhood. She had recently moved to Longmont, Colorado with her partner, Dan, and had started a new job teaching pottery classes. Their cosy 2-bedroom home was filled with excitement and preparations for the baby. Friends and family had thrown her a baby shower, and the couple had lovingly set up a nursery, eagerly awaiting Aurora's arrival. Michelle's days were filled with teaching, creating art, and enjoying the natural beauty of Colorado. She and Dan shared a love for the outdoors, often hiking and exploring together. Their bond was strong, and they looked forward to raising their daughter in a nurturing and adventurous environment. However, Michelle's life took a tragic turn on March 18, 2015. Responding to a Craigslist ad offering free maternity clothes, she visited the home of Dynel Lane in Longmont. What was meant to be a simple act of kindness turned into a horrifying ordeal. Chapter 2. Dynel Lane, a web of deception. Dynel Lane was a 34-year-old former nurse's aide living in Longmont, Colorado. In 2015, she shared her home with her partner, David Ridley, and her 2 teenage daughters. To those around her, Lane appeared to be a devoted mother and partner, navigating life after the tragic loss of her 19-month-old son in 2002, who drowned in what was ruled an accident. In the months leading up to March 2015, Lane began telling friends, family, and Ridley that she was pregnant. She went to great lengths to maintain this facade, including wearing maternity clothes, faking ultrasounds, and even organising a baby shower. Lane claimed she was expecting a boy, whom they planned to name James. However, Lane had undergone a tubal ligation in 2014, making it medically impossible for her to conceive. Despite this, she continued to deceive those around her, creating an elaborate web of lies to support her fictitious pregnancy. As her supposed due date approached, Lane's behaviour became increasingly erratic. She posted a Craigslist ad offering free maternity clothes, intending to lure a pregnant woman to her home. On March 18, 2015, Michelle Wilkins responded to the ad and visited Lane's residence. Chapter 3. The Crime. On the morning of March 18, 2015, Michelle responded to a Craigslist ad offering free maternity clothes. The ad was posted by Dynel Lane, a woman who had been falsely claiming to be pregnant. Michelle arrived at Dynel's home in Longmont, Colorado, around noon. The two women spent about an hour together, discussing pregnancy and baby items. Dynel then invited Michelle to the basement to look at additional clothes. Once in the basement, Dynel attacked Michelle. She struck her over the head with a lava lamp, stabbed her in the neck with the broken glass, and choked her until she lost consciousness. Dynel then used a kitchen knife to cut open Michelle's abdomen and remove the fetus. Dynel left Michelle bleeding in the basement and took the baby to the bathroom and placed her in the bathtub. Dynel's partner then arrived home, and she told him she had had a miscarriage and that the baby was in the bath. Ridley went to get the baby, and they all raced to the hospital. Despite her severe injuries, Michelle, still in the basement, regained consciousness and managed to get up. There was a cell phone lying on the table, and miraculously, she got to the emergency screen and called 911. Somehow, by the grace of God, she remembered the address, and the ambulance was able to get to her. She was rushed to the hospital, where she underwent emergency surgery and spent 5 days in intensive care. The baby, who Michelle had planned to name Aurora, did not survive. Dynel had taken the baby to the hospital, claiming she had suffered a miscarriage. However, medical staff quickly became suspicious, and her story unravelled. Dynel was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder, assault, and unlawful termination of a pregnancy. The case shocked the community and highlighted the dangers of online interactions and the lengths to which individuals may go to maintain a lie. Chapter 4. The Trial and Sentencing. The trial of Dynel Lane commenced in February 2016, nearly a year after the harrowing attack on Michelle Wilkins. The courtroom in Boulder County, Colorado, became the setting for a case that would test the boundaries of legal definitions and the depths of human empathy. Lane faced multiple charges: attempted first-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree assault, 2 counts of second-degree assault, and unlawful termination of a pregnancy. The prosecution painted a picture of a calculated and premeditated act, emphasising Lane's elaborate deception leading up to the attack. Michelle Wilkins took the stand, recounting the events of March 18, 2015, with remarkable composure. She described responding to a Craigslist ad for free maternity clothes, meeting Lane, and the subsequent assault that left her fighting for her life. Her testimony was both poignant and powerful, providing the jury with a first-hand account of the brutality she endured. The defence did not dispute that Lane had attacked Wilkins, but argued that it was not a premeditated act. They suggested that Lane's actions were impulsive, driven by psychological distress stemming from the loss of her own child years earlier. However, the prosecution countered this narrative by highlighting the meticulous steps Lane took to fabricate her pregnancy and lure Wilkins to her home. After deliberating for approximately 7 hours, the jury found Lane guilty on all counts. The verdict underscored the jury's agreement with the prosecution's assertion of premeditation and intent. The sentencing phase followed in April 2016. During this phase, victim impact statements were presented, offering a glimpse into the profound effects of Lane's actions on Wilkins and her family. Michelle Wilkins addressed Lane directly, expressing the pain and trauma she endured and emphasising the need for accountability. Judge Maria Birkenkotter, presiding over the case, delivered a sentence that reflected the severity of the crimes. Lane was sentenced to 100 years in prison, broken down as follows: 48 years for attempted first-degree murder, 32 years for unlawful termination of a pregnancy, and additional years for the assault charges. The sentences were ordered to run consecutively, ensuring that Lane would spend the remainder of her life incarcerated. In her sentencing remarks, Judge Birkenkotter highlighted the calculated nature of Lane's actions and the lasting impact on the victims. She noted that Lane's lack of remorse and refusal to accept responsibility further justified the harsh sentence. The case also sparked discussions about Colorado's legal stance on fetal homicide. Due to state laws, prosecutors could not charge Lane with murder for the death of Wilkins's unborn child, as there was no evidence the fetus lived outside the womb. This limitation led to debates and proposed legislation aimed at redefining fetal homicide in the state. In the aftermath, Michelle Wilkins expressed a sense of closure, stating that while the sentence could not undo the trauma she experienced, it provided a measure of justice. The trial and sentencing of Dynel Lane served as a stark reminder of the depths of human deception and the resilience of those who survive unimaginable horrors. Chapter 5. The Aftermath. Michelle Wilkins's journey of survival and healing. In the wake of the harrowing attack on March 18, 2015, Michelle Wilkins faced a long and arduous path to recovery. The physical wounds, though severe, were only the beginning of a healing process that would test her resilience and redefine her life's trajectory. Michelle spent 5 days in intensive care, undergoing multiple surgeries to repair the damage inflicted during the assault. The medical team at Longmont United Hospital worked tirelessly to stabilize her condition, addressing the extensive injuries to her abdomen and neck. Despite the trauma, Michelle's determination to survive never wavered. The emotional toll of losing her unborn daughter, Aurora, was immeasurable. Michelle and her partner Dan had been eagerly anticipating the arrival of their first child. The nursery was prepared, baby clothes were neatly folded, and dreams of parenthood filled their hearts. The sudden and violent loss of Aurora shattered those dreams, leaving a void that words could scarcely describe. In the months following the attack, Michelle grappled with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Nightmares haunted her sleep, and flashbacks disrupted her daily life. The support of her family, friends, and community became a lifeline, providing comfort and strength during the darkest moments. Michelle's journey toward healing was multifaceted. She engaged in therapy to address the psychological scars left by the attack. Through counselling, she began to process the trauma, confront her fears, and reclaim a sense of control over her life. Physical activity also played a crucial role in her recovery. Michelle found solace in hiking and climbing, activities that allowed her to reconnect with nature and rebuild her physical strength. These pursuits became symbolic of her resilience, each step forward representing a triumph over adversity. Art, too, became a therapeutic outlet. Michelle returned to her passion for pottery, finding peace in the creative process. The tactile nature of working with clay provided a grounding experience, allowing her to express emotions that words could not capture. Throughout her recovery, Michelle remained steadfast in her commitment to healing. She recognized that the path would be neither linear nor easy, but she embraced each challenge with courage and determination. In time, Michelle chose to change her name to Ellie, a decision that symbolized her transformation and the new chapter of her life. The name change represented a reclaiming of her identity, separate from the trauma she had endured. Ellie immersed herself in community service, volunteering with local non-profits such as Natural Highs and Golden Bridge. These organisations focus on youth empowerment and holistic health, aligning with Ellie's desire to support others in their journeys toward healing. Driven by a passion for helping others, Ellie pursued a degree in clinical mental health and body-based counselling at Prescott College. Her academic endeavours were fuelled by a desire to translate her personal experiences into meaningful support for others facing trauma. Ellie also began writing a memoir, aiming to share her story and the lessons learned through her ordeal. The process of writing allowed her to reflect on her experiences, offering insights into the complexities of trauma, resilience, and the human capacity for healing. Despite the progress made, Ellie acknowledged that healing is an ongoing process. The memory of Aurora remained ever present, a source of both sorrow and inspiration. Ellie honoured her daughter's memory by living a life rooted in compassion, strength, and purpose. In interviews, Ellie spoke candidly about her journey. She emphasised the importance of vulnerability, stating, "To me, strength is being vulnerable and being open." Her words resonated with many, offering hope to those navigating their own paths of recovery. Ellie's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. From the depths of unimaginable trauma, she emerged with a renewed sense of purpose, dedicating her life to healing and helping others. Her journey serves as a powerful reminder that even in the face of profound darkness, light can be found. Chapter 6. Closing Thoughts. The story of Michelle Wilkins is not only one of unimaginable violence, it is a story of survival, a story of resilience, and a story of how even in the darkest of moments, the human spirit can find a way to endure. The attack committed by Dynel revealed the terrifying depths of deception and desperation. It shattered lives. Most tragically, it took the life of baby Aurora. Yet, from this tragedy came a voice unwilling to be silenced. Michelle, now Ellie, faced her trauma head-on. She chose not to be defined by it. Through therapy, advocacy, and sheer determination, Ellie transformed her experience into one that now serves others. Her courage in testifying at Lane's trial, in writing her memoir, and in speaking openly about grief and healing offers a powerful lesson to us all, that survival is not about forgetting the past, it is about facing it with honesty and compassion. And what of justice? The 100-year sentence handed down to Dynel cannot undo what was done, nor can it fill the void left by Aurora's death, but it stands as a message that calculated cruelty will not go unanswered. Michelle Wilkins was a woman preparing for new life. Her journey, though forever marked by tragedy, continues with grace and courage. Thank you for listening, and remember to subscribe for more true crime.